Hi, welcome to this tutorial series. Today we'll focus on the timelines features of MIDMap version 6. And for this, I'm just gonna start very easily. Let me focus on the output. Let me drag something. Okay, see, it's not very fancy, but it's just to show you what's going on. And here in the timelines tool, let me just click it. I click there, and you can see it opens up a new world of possibilities. And this new world of possibilities is kind of divided by two parts: the scenes and cues part that you all already know from MIDMap version 5, and the new conductor world that is presented by default. So the conductor is like the master timeline, the conduct of your entire show. So it's a one and single timeline that's already accessible. You don't have to create anything. It's just there. And there is one per bank. Okay, you can create a new bank like the former scenes and cues bank that you're all familiar with. And this conductor is like, for those of you who are familiar with After Effects, it just shows a timeline, some time, and you can add some keyframes here and there. So this is the inspector. I can open and close like this. And let's say I want to animate the opacity of this quad. Very easy. I just click the record button here. Okay, and I click the opacity, and you can see it created automatically a track which is there with the first keyframe on time 0. Okay, so let me just switch back from this mode. I have this keyframe at time 0. I can scrub. Let's go to time 1 second here. Double click, and I have another. Sorry, I have another keyframe. I click here. Okay, I have a third keyframe. I can modify it. Okay, like in any timeline application. Okay, this keyframe, if I right click on it, you can see I have a bunch of interpolation modes, non-linear by default, Bezier and curve, and all these interpolation modes are accessible by shortcut. So if I Command A or Control on Windows, I select all the keyframes in my track, I press C, boom, and you can see already I have a nice animation. If I go there, okay, to this one, I can right click here and say set my loop end. And if I activate the looping mode and I press play, you can see I have a nice looping animation. So this is very great. I can scrub it. One cool thing is that if I zoom, for instance, like this, if I enable the view tracking like this, I click play, and it will follow, the view will follow the current playhead position. Okay. If I unzoom, remove that, I press space to stop the animation. You can see it switches in pause mode. I press space again. It starts from what I started back. So this is the restart playback button. So look, if I press play, pause, it plays and pause on and on. If I enable this, it will go back to this blue line. If I want to change the blue line, I can just put it there. And now if each time I press play, stop, play, it will start again from this blue line. So this is very handy if you want to work on an animation. It's sometimes very handy to restart always from the same point to work on your animation. If you have a long show that lasts for 1 hour, maybe you just want to play and pause and restart from where you paused. So this is this option, very handy. This is the looping mode, the stop, which goes back to 0. And here you can see I have a bunch of tracks. Let's say I want to control the color of this quad. So I can just go there and click the color of the quad, and it will create a nice color track. So anywhere I can go there, just double click the color. It's there. If I click again, it brings this nice color selector. Okay, let's say I want some pink. Okay, and here, let's say there, let me double click, click again, and I want a nice yellow color. And I will change my my looping. Here on the last one, I will make another keyframe. And for this one, I will go back to white because I want a looping animation. And in the middle, let me double click here and maybe have some blue for a nice rainbow. Okay, so the last keyframe of the opacity, I want it to be the same as the first one. And here, let's say I will do something like that. Add something just for the sake of the tutorial. Let's say something like that. Okay, and now it's looping. If I press play, you can see it's changing the color and the opacity. And like that, I can have multiple tracks and access all the parameters of MadMapper within one master timeline. I can add some other tracks. If I click the plus button here, you can see I can add some audio tracks and synchronize everything on the audio track. I can add a timeline player track, so I can, in my conductor, add another timelines and compose one big show made of multiple timelines. Okay, I can add a montage track. Montages are special track where I can, for instance, add content like this. I have this content. Maybe I want to add another content. Okay, and I can make a kind of montage with this content. But I will make a special tutorial about that very specifically. You can just remove it, boom, by clicking delete. Everything I can remove, clicking delete, Command Z, I can undo that. And I can also add specific MIDI tracks. Okay, so now let's say I want to send a MIDI CC, boom, I can put it there, and I can start inputting values. And of course, my MIDI CC, it's channel 1 CC11. If I open the inspector here, you can see I can select my MIDI device and I can select my channel. And this brings the preferences. Okay, very, very, very nice, very, very cool feature. Of course, I can also add an OSC track, a float, and all kinds of OSC tracks. This is very handy to control external parameters with MadMapper. Okay, and here on the top, I have an overview of the conductor. So if I zoom in, okay, you can see I can use that to scrub and change the timing from the view position of my conductor, and I can make it bigger, make it smaller to zoom in and out of the conductor. Here I have also some other options. You can see this is the time scale, so I can look for frames. You can see it's assuming you're running 60 frames per second, so 1 second would be 60 frames. It's very handy, and I can also use musical notation. Okay, for instance, the beats or the 16ths of the notes. And here, if I click the 3 little dots, I can set the main BPM of my conductor. Of course, this won't change the time in seconds, but this will change the time signature. Okay, and if I go to 240, you can see 1 second. My keyframe is still at 1 second, but I changed the beats, so now I have 2 beats there. If I go to 120, you can see it's just changing the measurements here, but not the actual timing. Okay, so this is just to help you position your keyframes. Okay, and I think that's about it for this tutorial, and see you in the next one. Thank you.